the Denton High School, moving from Fulton Street, which they had just maxed out. Brand new campus out here. This is the second school year that it's been open. As we go through here and get a tour from Mr. Hayes, the leader of this school, you'll see from building to building to building over 100 years of history, the design of this building. And you're going to get a history lesson that even I had no clue I was going to get today.
I was actually looking through some old yearbooks for the graduation speech for last year's class 23, because they were the first class in this building. So I went back to the 1923 yearbook. And as I was looking through these yearbooks, I noticed there was this amazing artwork on the end pages. And then it finally dawned on me that, well, in 1920, there wasn't a lot of photography going on in high school yearbooks back then. And so what they had was students every year drew some kind of Western Bronco theme, and they put it in the yearbook. 1905 is the first one. And so that was drawn by a student in 1905. So we decided to take some of the best artwork from these yearbooks and put them in this museum space. So this was put into the original Fulton Street campus just after it opened, and quickly became the mythical legend, the Bronco on the floor. And so whenever, for decades, whenever there were pep rallies, the football team would come out of the pep rally and surround this Bronco on the floor and do chants and cheers and stuff. Freshmen learned very quickly that you never stepped on the Bronco, or you suffered the wrath of upperclassmen.
I love this, how the floor sits down and
Yes.
this mezzanine type level up top.
Our superintendent's a former basketball coach. He had some great design ideas, and when people come from the east parking lot, they come up to the concourse level and then down to their seats.
When I think about going to basketball games, college games, things like that, we walk in, you kind of go up, and then you have that grand entrance to everything.
This design gives us is basically 3 gyms on the footprint of 2. There's a gym back there, you can see it behind those risers, and then there's another gym behind that wall. We can have tournaments, and you can have a game going on up there, but you're not going to have any whistle or sound interference with the game that's going on down here.
Got it, makes sense.
Of course, we've got all the banners. Anything above district level champion are the banners, including when DHS won state.
State semifinals up there during that era. We're pretty strong, 20s and 30s, my goodness.
Yep. So people just started bringing letter jackets from everywhere. And so originally it was just going to be the Timeline Museum, and then we decided, well, it'd probably be good to have some texture and depth to it anyway. And so starting over here on the right, that is the iconic late 70s, early 80s when they went with a gold on gold letter jacket. But that is Robin Fry's letter jacket. This one, back in the 50s, they gave out sub-varsity letter jackets. And so that's a JV letter jacket. That's the first actual Philly uniform from the 60s. This one was interesting. This was the first letter jacket ever given to a kid for anything non-athletic. And in the 66-67 school year, this student went to state for both choir and band.
What an accomplishment.
The real prize piece of it is a 1929 varsity sweater. Before they even had letter jackets, they had varsity sweater. And that thing is about 4.5 pounds of wool. I don't know when they wore it in Texas, but it is 100% wool.
Wow.
But very cool.
Very cool.
You know, a Denton kid and going to DHS, there were things that came out of the research for the timeline that I didn't know. Like, this is the 8th building that DHS has been in. I knew they were down south of the square originally, and I knew they were in the Calhoun building, but there were a lot of buildings between. The first one was built in 1916, and they evidently just outgrew it right after World War I.
Does that building still stand?
It does not, but the bricks were used to make the Mount Street gym that's up the hill from the main Calhoun building.
Tying in from history from building to building started a long time ago, over 100 years ago. You know, just utilizing bricks. But I can't begin to thank you for this.
No problem.
I think this is going to be my favorite video. It's going to be hard to top this one.